Hey man, I've been meaning to give this to you.
Uh-oh.
This is the remix. Brown Thunder.
And White Lightning?
Right?
It's a fucking yank fest.
That's us.
You got to be fucking
So
kidding.
last weekend, last time last time we had a podcast, let me get it out of my mouth. We talked about Lyme disease briefly, about the that deal being passed saying that the Pentagon had to get the Inspector General involved and investigate whether the United States military ever experimented with ticks as far as injecting them with illnesses or what, and also if they had ever accidentally, released it on the human population. Accidentally, I just did that in quotes because that's funny. The government accidentally does something.
Yeah.
And so it kind of piqued our interest a little bit. So we were like, because, we can get crazy conspiracy theory here, and, obviously there is a lot of people that believe that is true, that the government did go do something like that. So, I did a little research. Jesse did a little bit of research, and, I don't know as far as what my research led to, whether it's true or not, but what I did find out was, Plum Island. So, and was it, so Plum Island's outside of New York, and it was owned, the government owns it. It's 80 miles away, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know the exact distance.
I think it was, hold on, let me real quick. It was 80 miles outside of Lyme, Connecticut. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, Connecticut.
Yeah, old Lyme, Connecticut. So that was where the first case of Lyme disease was ever recorded. So anyway, this island, Plum Island, there was a lot of insect experimentation, animal experimentation, as far as like ticks, and when it comes to like Lyme disease, obviously we're talking about that. And then
it was a research on plant and large animal diseases likely to have a significant economic impact on livestock and agricultural industries is what the idea behind it was.
Okay. Yeah. But it's kind of passed around from ownership.
Yes.
Like the military owned it at one time. Then I think Homeland Defense maybe owned it or something.
Yeah, it was, let me see.
CDC may have.
Said it started out as the U.S. Army Chemical Corps, was in 52.
Chemical Corps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Chemical Corps. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just fucking with
you. In 69 is when it changed over to the Department of Agriculture.
Okay. So.
But what it is today, I couldn't tell you.
I think it may be something like, or maybe the CDC owns it now.
I would imagine, because basically where it's at, it's an island off the coast where it is nothing is easily in or out.
Right. It looks like there's still. It's access on. Yeah, it's still owned by Homeland Security.
Okay, so yeah. So
now it's owned by Homeland Security. Sorry.
So they're still out there doing tests and shit.
Yeah, they're still doing shit out there. Anyway, so conspiracy theory. Lyme disease was never a thing, and all of a sudden, from like the 50s basically to the 70s, there was a lot of testing done on this island. Can't really get to it. There's you can't get to it on boat. I mean, you can, but it's gonna be. You're probably going to get shot at.
It's a gunpoint at this point.
Right. All of a sudden, Lyme disease pops up in Lyme, Connecticut. And people start dying, because there's different severities of Lyme disease. So there's a lot of conspiracy theory that thinks that, it was created over there, and it was purposely released on the the United States population.
As a test, yeah.
Yeah.
To control.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were saying, and like you're saying, if you follow the conspiracy trail and how it goes, you look at it from in 69 when from a presidential directive when it was changed from the Army Corps Chemicals to the Department of Agriculture. Mm-hmm. So in 69 it was disbanded. Well, then the first named case of Lyme disease was in 70s.
Right.
Was in the early part of the 70s.
Yeah.
So, that's where you could start seeing you could start following the trail and wondering, well, what the hell's going on? But, all the history and stuff that I've seen that in the early 50s, they said that this was around. They just didn't have a name. They didn't know what to call it. and that it showed up in younger kids. It always showed up in kids as like a rheumatoid arthritis type thing. And that's just where they left it. It was always kids. It was never adults or anything like that. And so, and even in some of the stuff that I had, that they have finally found like prehistoric remains of the Iceman more than 5,000 years ago. Provided positive evidence of the infection by Borealia, I believe is what they call it.
Yeah, that's the name of the bacteria.
The tick, the double B tick,
Yeah.
B and B. But yeah. So I mean, there's a trail depending on how far you want to follow it and how deep in you want to go. Remember when we talked about it briefly in text about the woman that Chris Newby.
Yeah.
Wrote that book called Bitten.
Yeah, Bitten.
That went in deep, talked to doctors that had worked there and all that. But that's another one of them books that there's people that say it's true and then people that say it's not. And
yeah, like every conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I mean, it like anything. But then again, with anything like time reveals all.
Very true.
So eventually something's going to come out.
Yeah, I think so. Well, and that's obviously because I think it was started by Connecticut lawmakers to get the Pentagon to investigate that because obviously up in the Northeast, Lyme disease is really rampant. It's up in the Northeast, and kind of the Wisconsin area. Yeah, up there
on that map, and that's where it shows. I mean, the biggest. Yeah, I would nerd it out and printed out a fucking map from 1990 to 2017.
Yeah, Jesse went hardcore on this one.
As far as the biggest states, there's 5 of them. You know, you got New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New Jersey, and then, Wisconsin's kind of thrown over there in that per capita where they rank.
Right, it's kind of weird because it's all over here, then all of a sudden it's like just over here.
And it's weird how you look at it. They said the numbers are, they're not sure if it's by populace or by how animal movement and shit like that. But, I mean, you look at Kansas through that 27 years that it's been on here. Kansas had 501 in 27 years.
Right.
Colorado had 17.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, Colorado is going to have a higher population with more mountainous area to have this, and it's less. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. California has had more than Texas, which is kind of weird.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
No, and it's weird by the numbers because I'm not sure how if it's per case. Even Connecticut had like 70,000 in that 27 years, where New York had 125,000. Pennsylvania had 116,000.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, how they derive their information from, if it's per capita or per case. I mean, even Hawaii had 6.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, but
I mean, how's
it can be carried by birds.
It can be carried, and there's the life. I fucking printed off the life cycle of these boys. Where is it at here? It's in one of these deals. You can see it back here. But it's weird because the tick starts out not fucking infectious. And they say it gets its infection from like the white-footed mouse.
Really?
Yeah. Let me pull this fucking. I know there's a map here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. It starts out as the eggs, and then it goes into the larva stage. And then that's where the larvae and the nymphs feed on small animals and lizards, birds. So they have squirrels, lizards, any type of bird. And then it turns into the nymph. And then when it's past the nymph stage, that's where it becomes infectious.
I didn't read that. So.
And then so from the nymph stage, it inadvertently gets attached to humans and dogs. Okay. But its true life cycle is bigger animals. So then it moves to... Well, it still continues to feed on mice, lizards, and birds. Then once it hits the adult stage, it goes to the bigger animals, deer, the deer ticks,
right,
raccoons, shit like that, and then it turns back into the egg. But it's that inadvertent between the nymph and the adult stage when it bites a human is when it
So if it's not,
It becomes infectious to humans.
so if it's an adult, it's fine, and if it's a
Yeah, I had another one that said where it started becoming infected,
yeah.
but I believe anything past the adult stage is still, or anything past the nymph stage, you're still fucked. No matter what it is.
Okay.
So if
I think it
it's-
meant like it had one point where it
no,
it
it's
was only infected.
it's that it's when it hits the nymph stage that it's where it becomes infected,
Yeah,
but it doesn't.
has the
It says-
opportunity to become
yeah,
infected.
the nymph will bite, the nymph will attach to humans, and the
Uh-huh.
adult will attach to humans.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So it's just in how you, in your area and all that bullshit.
I got what you're saying now.
It was, I mean, it was kind of a cool cycle looking into how it was, but
So as far as I guess the research I did, do I think that the government did testing? I don't know. Do I want to think they did? Yes.
well, I mean, yeah, it's the unknown.
Right.
There's a lot of unknown out there right now, especially with them fucking 1.2 billion people getting ready to crash Area 51.
Now it's 1.2 billion.
Million.
Oh, I think they said billion. I
No,
was like,
million.
holy fuck. Well,
I mean, it's just the unknown that is what is
Yeah.
that drives a lot of it, because you could see some things that they have done in the past.
oh yeah, there's a
and then
lot
so
of shit.
you're going, well, I'm not going to put it past the fact that they wouldn't do this.
100% agree, because the government has done shit and shit's been released.
What's that, Agent Orange in fucking Vietnam?
Yeah.
They denied that shit for the longest time.
What MK Ultra? I think. Well, I forget which one that one was though, but that was proven. What the fuck is MK Ultra now? Because if our listeners don't know, they need to know. And if there's someone that was Project Ultra was the CIA. Oh, the mind control program with LSD.
LSD,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. There was that one that proved to be true. What was the one down on the fucking?
What was the one?
The CIA was buying and selling drugs to fund basically
Right.
shit down in, I think, Cuba.
It's called the War on Drugs.
Well, okay, yeah. There was something else. I can't remember which one it is.
They
I'm
take
sure
the
someone-
drugs, they find the drugs, they give the drugs back.
Right.
It's a vicious cycle.
So I couldn't find any research that like proved not. I could found something that probably said yeah this is, but like everything I read into, it wasn't just like. I didn't feel like I had from what I did, and I only did research for a couple days. I didn't go in length like weeks. We just to kind of decided and disinterest us. So I couldn't find anything that like really pinpointed that said like that made me really, really, really believe. Part of me does believe. Yes.
You got to believe that there's some truth in rumors.
And I really, really want to believe, but that's where I stand. So I'm not real sure. I'm not satisfied with what I found. I don't know if I'll go back into it and keep looking, but
No, but you got to look into it. Like, okay, it started off with Lyme disease. I mean, but look at, okay, they said it came from Lyme disease, and how did it start?
Mm-hmm.
Everything manifests from one thing or another. If it started off as, what did it start off as? Where did it start off as? And you ain't just going to have one tick all of a sudden go, hey, I'm going to start this. I mean,
true.
similar, I mean, unless it's like a cancer gene in insects that has that one little fuck up in the system that causes this, and then you go off from there maybe. But,
Maybe.
I mean, how do you, if that's the case, then how do you explain all the other shit that's going on right now? You know, we had the Zika scare a couple of years ago. Now all of a sudden, you don't hear shit about it. And that was from mosquitoes.
Where does new bacteria come from? Have they always been around? Have they mutated?
I mean, the plague back in the day was rats. I mean, it came from rats.
Right, but bacteria mutates and turns into something else. Then it also becomes immune to certain things.
Yeah.
And same with viruses and everything. So, I mean, over millions of years, something mutated and turned into the Lyme with a boreal, whatever that.
Yeah, the
bacteria was called. I can't remember it.
The big old fucking name.
Yeah. But that also doesn't mean that some bacteria can be engineered if you start mixing shit together, it's gonna create something.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, you got to think.
they've been doing chemical. That's chemical warfare. You know, oops. They've been doing that shit since fucking World War One.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? If you got something that you could throw out there that's gonna make, you could create a vaccine for your guys, and then your enemy, the opposite,
think about
aren't immune to it.
Think about when you're flying over Nazi Germany in World War II, and you just dump out of these airplanes. I guess that would have been too early for it. Well, it's at the 50s to 70s. Let's say you're flying over enemy territory. Let's say we're doing it in Vietnam. There we go. And you just dump fucking just, millions of ticks that are infected with Lyme disease.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to kill your enemy right then and there? No.
It'll be a 2 to 3 week process, and that's going to slow everybody down.
And they're not going to know what the fuck happened. All of a sudden they're fine, and they start experiencing body aches, and there's tons of different symptoms for Lyme disease.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great fucking idea.
It's
comes something like that,
and you can't trade. I mean, obviously, if you dump a fuck ton of ticks in the middle of an area that has no ticks,
mm-hmm.
it might cause an issue. But if you could do it with an insect that's already native,
think about it, they did it over Wichita, because we have ticks.
you got ticks.
We have ticks
everywhere.
all around Kansas.
Oh yeah, just calm trail them motherfuckers out of an airplane.
Oh yeah. Now someone's out there like, yes, they finally believe.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, you wouldn't it wouldn't be out of the norm. You wouldn't think nothing about it. I mean, why?
Yeah,
and it's a weird deal to look at. Well, and it's just like that.
Well, deer ticks are tiny. You wouldn't even see them.
No, and the Lone Star ticks are a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, last time I went out and checked my deer feeders, I pulled 3 off of my leg, and just from the walk out.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fucking everywhere. You can't not get rid of them.
Right.
But we were talking to my daughter. She has tubes in her ears, surgically and put in tubes.
Mm-hmm.
And so the doctor told us when she's swimming in lakes and rivers, she can't dunk her head in because of the brain eating amoebas. Well, you got to looking into it, and God damn it, I looked it up yesterday and I forgot the date now. July 14th of 2004, I believe, was the last known date that a girl in Kansas has got a brain eating amoeba.
I remember that because there was a scare for a little bit.
Yeah, but it's still happening now in the South. You see it in Florida. It's happened in off the.
I didn't know about
off
that.
the one of the Carolinas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still going on. You still hear it, but they just don't make a big of a deal of it anymore because it happens more now.
It's really fucked up.
Yeah, and you read the news now and you look at any of the outdoor section stuff at all. The Northeast is more prevalent with newer tick shit. We kind of hit on it last time. I mean, causes complete paralysis to kids and shit, and
yeah,
it's out. There's a lot of shit out there that makes you wonder what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
that's out of our control.
Yeah, is it like I don't want to get religious, but just God or destiny or something that's just it's supposed to happen, or is it just but evolution taking its course, or is it?
Wouldn't you think through evolution that an insect, animal, whatever, with a slight mutation would be the weaker of the insects?
Well, no, because some mutations even becoming good mutations. Mutations aren't all bad.
No, but
think about the opposable thumb was a mutation from monkeys.
Yeah,
because let's be honest,
we're more closer to pigs. God damn it!
Yeah, but it's so as thumbs started growing, well, now we can do a fuck more than a monkey can. Because, yeah. So not all mutations are bad. I get what you're saying. But
no, yeah, I mean, but, you see I mean, it's way off fucking subject here on this one, but the albino mutation
is
not good in the wild.
No, it's terrible.
Stand out like a sore fucking thumb.
Uh-huh.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it's just yeah. I don't know if there's a. You would like to imagine that if there is a higher being out there that that shit wouldn't happen.
No.
We wouldn't be creating things that's just going to kill a mass of people.
One would like to think, yes.
Unless it's through the evolution and there are just too many people, and so
got to get rid of some of them.
Through evolution, I mean,
The Earth cleansing
gonna
itself.
happen, yeah.
Something, yeah. Huh. Oh, that's pretty interesting. What do you think, though? What's your take on the whole, did the government do it, or is it just...
I mean, it's just a strange coincidence that the plant, they changed from 69 to a new department and things, and then in the 70s we name it Lyme disease.
Yes.
Because of old Lyme, Connecticut. It's a weird trail. You follow it. I mean, yeah, you can't say no, it didn't happen, and you can't say yes, it happened.
Mm-hmm.
There's just not enough evidence out there to say it. But I'm at the point, now in life that I wouldn't put it past them. You can't trust anything they say anymore. So.
No, fuck no. I don't trust our government for any part of it.
No.
So
I mean, they're all fighting back and forth now about just bullshit.
Yeah. Bunch of crazies.
Yeah. But I was thinking about this today too. Where does that put us at? I mean, are we so dumb we forget what happens from every 4 years to every 4 years?
Yes.
That they're just going to stand out there and everybody's going to lie to us.
Yes.
They're going to make false promises.
Yes.
And then once their 4-year term is up and we get a new motherfucker in there, it's the same shit, different. Same dog and pony show.
We are.
It's not necessarily the president either. You can't blame it on him. It's
No,
the people that are in there for 30, 40 fucking years. Blaming it on the president.
Yeah, the president's a puppet for a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, he's the scapegoat, or he is your fucking savior.
Yes. So
I mean,
we're so stupid that we forget what happens every 4 to 4 years. So think about like this is me being a libertarian for liberty and freedom. That's what I believe in, liberty and freedom, and it goes back to 1776. 1770s, why our nation was founded. It was founded for freedom. We are more fucking regulated nowadays on everything, and everybody's forgotten about it. Not everybody, but almost everybody's forgotten about it. The Republicans and the Democrats both just want total fucking government control.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it, and that's where I get very passionate. It's like you said that. You said people forget what happens every 4 years. So they're offered these promises, all this shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like people can't fucking remember what happened last week. The government will do something. People turn a blind eye. I think it goes back to what we were talking about, I believe, the last podcast when I said so many people are like there's something, and they're like they don't want to believe our government could be bad.
Mm-hmm.
They want to. No, we're not. We're the United States. We're the greatest country in the world. Our government's not like those other governments. Fucking bullshit. Yes, they are. They're only out for themselves. It's a goddamn business.
Oh yeah.
They want to make a paycheck and they want to get fucking rich doing it. They don't give a shit who they fucking have to run over. Just like any business person, just like any CEO of any major company. You do not get to those positions without breaking some fucking necks. And that's what everybody in the government is. Now, there are people, I do believe, but a lot of it starts in the small local governments that want to make the change. But the big problem is, even those ones that do want to make the change, they end up getting corrupted the higher up they go.
Yeah.
So,
what is it? Monsanto's in everybody's fucking pockets. You can't even grow soybeans anymore because they
buying their
they
shit.
hold a patent on the soybeans.
Yep.
You can't have what do they call them? Heritage. Heritage style seeds. You can't own a seed because they own the patent on them. They catch you with a field of soybeans, and if you pick them you pick half for your next year's crop,
Can't do it.
it's illegal.
Yeah, I know. Why are our government allowed that?
Yeah, they sit on the Food Administration Board now.
Yeah.
Which is fine, I guess.
I guess.
Somewhere along the way, we thought it was great for the person that makes fucking chemicals to be, and then put the chemicals in the food, and then, okay, now we're going to be on the board that approves the food,
Yep.
so we could just push and put everything in there that we want.
Because that person's getting rich, they're paying this person off to make shit happen, and they're getting richer.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a fucking cycle. And a big part of it is because we allow people to sit in those fucking positions forever.
Forever. There is no term limits on Congress.
Nope.
Well, sure, we'll put a fucking term limit on a guy who has nothing to do with anything other than being the face. But
so that's why, back to our original thing.
Oh yeah, they'll do anything to make themselves look good.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the best way to have a gun ban? Put more pressure on the gun industries and stuff like that. Well, let's have a mass shooting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what was it? The same day in El Paso, we had two.
Yeah.
We had 2 mass shootings in the same fucking day. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Corrupt.
I mean, we had one in California with the most fucking regulated state. You can't even have an AR style, an Armalite style gun.
Right, those bad assault rifles.
Yeah. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? Unless you're unless you're guarding your borders, you're gonna do what this motherfucker did. Go to New Mexico, buy the gun, drive back up there and go shoot some garlic eating motherfuckers. Cut the fence because we had a gate that had a metal detector on it. But we're gonna cut the fence and we're gonna come back in through the back door.
Yeah. Anyways, well, I think we probably are done beat that subject, but we all, you know how we feel. We're both, we're not too convinced that it wasn't. We're not too convinced it's fake.
It's not out of the realm of possibility
Yes.
that it is something that they could do.
And do we both want to believe that it really is true and the stuff like that did happen? Yes.
Oh yeah.
So, okay, you want to take a break?
Well, you could take a break.
All right, break time.